But what gets dropped out of that is what I call maybe standard of living or quality of living. And when our residents live, the 9,000 people that just live in this program, the items that come into me, or if I'm going out, is there a chance we might see new kitchens in my area? I have kitchens in some of my buildings that don't even have upper cabinets. They're the original buildings from 40 years ago, or kitchens from 40 years ago. So those are the type of items. So I don't want to get into the idea that things are going to be falling off the wall, but I'm also dealing with single pane windows in some of the buildings that I have when the buildings were originally built in 1973. So those are the type of things that typically my capital does not cover enough to get to. And those are some of the things that residents know and notice from the perspective. So that becomes an important issue from a quality of life perspective. You know, one of our buildings where we've invested, you know, as an example, where we've had capital and we've taken opportunities, we've invested a significant amount of money, almost $2.2 million, $2.3 million. We're able to get an energy rebate out of it. And the building itself looks wonderful from an exterior perspective. We had to do it because the brickwork was spalling. It was creating an issue, water intrusion into the building. We spent the money. Basically, it has some insulation to it. Kind of looks like a brand new building from that. And walking through that building, I have residents, oh, our building's beautiful. I love coming, driving into the driveway, coming into it. Is there any chance we can do something to spruce up the interiors? And that's the challenge I'm saying in the current capital plan is that we typically can't get to those until we absolutely have to do it. And oftentimes those things might only get replaced if there's an infusion in what I call one-time capital funding, meaning we have at times received money from either the federal or provincial governments, and we've been able to undertake a few of those type of projects. But if I say from my normal $2.7 million that's built in that public housing budget, I will not be able to do those type of improvements. But you know, there is a direct factor to the idea that if people are proud of where they live, there's an intrinsic ability that I would expect to see some reduced maintenance costs in my budget because people are proud of where they live. They want to keep it up that way. They want to keep it clean. They want to be proud of where they live, and that's important. But we can't make those type of investments currently with the current funding arrangement. You know, when I say on a median perspective of where we sit, you know, we did take one unit out of, that's probably been the worst unit where we actually demolished the building in Amherstburg. That's a 63-year-old single family home. But on the most part, we have kept things going. It's just that we're kicking the can a little bit further and further, and it's going to be a little bit harder to catch up and keep it going, right? So at the time being, no, I wouldn't give that suggestion that we'd be worried but we're hitting that end of life cycle. You know, we're getting close.